Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're about a minute away from the first game of the round of 16. IamMagic versus Eisomarto today. We've got the draft set up in front of you. It's going to be a Poseidon versus Susanoo game to kick off the draft on the map Step. This is a really open map. There's going to be a lot of room for raiding, a lot of room for villager kills, a lot of room for picking off enemy units, and a lot of room for chaos. So that's the story we're running with here. If there's I already brought this up. If there is a underdog in this series, it has to be Eisomarto. He is very much he's got a 5-0 loss record against Magic on the ladder over the past year, and he's got it's his first big stage tournament debut. I think he managed to get through his qualifier. He had a really nice qualifier run. I don't think he dropped a game in his qualifiers, which is credit to his improvement. He's probably one of the most improved players over the past year that I think that I've seen. I don't think there's another player who's quite leveled up the same as him. But he's about to be welcomed into tournament Age Mythology today. IamMagic, one of the most winningest players in Age Mythology history, is his opponent. It's Poseidon, it's Susanoo, it's on the map Step. Let's jump in and see what's going to happen. And off we go in the left-hand corner of the map. Opening up with a lure. It is IamMagic, and he is playing as Poseidon. His opponent in the red color, pausing the game. Oh dear. We're already got drama here, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't be an Age Mythology competitive tournament game if there wasn't a pause right away. We are here for the Road to Athens playoffs number 1. There are 5 playoffs that we're going to be watching over the course of 5 weeks here. We've got to find 5 of the best Age Mythology players in the world to join the 3 S-tier tournament winners in Athens. We've already got plane tickets booked for Rappel and the Mister, as they do not need plane tickets. They're already in Greece. We have to pause here. This always happens when there's a thing. And we've also got Kavoth coming already as the 3 winners of the S-tier tournaments that Age Mythology Retold has hosted over the past year or 2. Alrighty. So, will one of these 2 players make it is the question. You've got to win every single game. It's a round of 8 single elimination gauntlet. There's no easy games here. Eisomarto, he's playing as Susanoo. He's got himself started up. There is a bit of an exposed gold mine over here. That's a little bit terrifying for Eisomarto. I think he's got to be thinking early gold and maybe looking for a nice wall getting set up around this way so that he doesn't have to really defend against the centaur super early. Then he can place a nice safe temple on this side and maybe even house here, temple, and then be defended. That's not what he's doing. He's got the temple over onto the left side. I'm not liking the position and the way that Eisomarto has opened this game in the slightest. Magic is going full send. Magic as well probably could have done a little bit better with his own temple placement here, but Magic is going to be getting damage dealt here. He's advancing fast. He's getting himself... No. He's not advancing fast. He's going for the early Theseus. It's a little bit surprising. I would have expected the advance, then the Theseus, and straight into pressure against the Susanoo here. But he's advancing 3 minutes, 40-ish seconds versus the Inari Orc Army, which is a little bit faster than 4 minutes, about the same speed as Magic. And I still want to see these walls getting dropped from Eisomarto. I think he's just making his life very, very tricky here. On the backside as well, there's wood lines. This is the wood line he should be on. The one thing that I've learnt about playing Age Mythology over the past, I think about 6 months. It's taken me a long time to learn this. With the inclusion of the new DLC civs, specifically China, Japan, and, well, not actually the Aztecs. This does not count to the Aztecs. But with China and Japan, there are favor gathering methods that you have to make a decision on. And the decision is to either get max gains out of them or use those buildings for the Chinese to protect yourself, or pick the less favor gain option as Japan to ensure that you have a nice, safe position. I think on this one here, this should have been the wood line that Eisomarto was choosing to chop down. This should have been the first of many shrines, and this other shrine probably should have been on this position, just as I'm ready to defend with my Miko. Nonetheless, Magic is taking a very long time to get going here. And he's sitting back playing defense instead of being on the offense because of these Kitsune coming in. Now, he could simply just defend this with the Theseus and look for an immediate attack, as a wall will be getting dropped down over here. He's got the double stables in, and the Juragumo might get caught out here with the Centaur, but then again, the Centaur might get caught out by the nine-tailed Kitsune as a little bit of a nibble comes in, and the Kitsune will get out. He did get himself Wisdom of the 9. This is a technology available only to Inari Okami, which gives, well, 9 tails on the Kitsune, and also a little bit more HP, a little bit more speed. Basically, the Kitsune has this unique ability that will increase all units around it by, I think it's 10% or 5% speed. So then if you have 2, you can now get them working as 2. So now it's going to be 10% speed if you have 2 Kitsune around as the Kitsune get in. And that there is the first kill as Eisomarto draws first blood. We do see a little bit of an attack up onto this side, however, and it's looking like Eisomarto might also be losing a little bit as the Kitsune get out over onto this side. One villager goes down, so both players have lost something here as there goes the Kusanagi, sending the units away, keeping everyone nice and safe. But that there is not what Eisomarto wanted. He got 1 kill, lost 1 villager. I think Magic here, he has now sent the Kitsune back. The Kitsune need to get healed up by the Miko, which allows now Magic a lot of room to be aggressive, a lot of room to get some damage done. That being said, look at what Eisomarto's done. He's out on this shrine. He's starting to get some really good favor in, and I wouldn't be surprised if Eisomarto's next go is actually going to be into the Juragumo. This makes a lot of sense. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. That's ready for Juragumo. He just doesn't have any favor just yet. His favor will come online in about 1,000 XP, and then from there, Juragumo help him take out the really beefy Hippias. Of course, the Atalanta and the Jason are things to be scared of, things to deal with, but Eisomarto should be able to find some real good value there with Susanoo to start up, and then he can start thinking about going into his god power usages and stuff like that afterwards, maybe for the next tier of Bushido. As up onto this side, a little bit of an attack coming in as the shrine will be the target. I do like the defensive building placement on this right side. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the shrine has been spotted, and it looks like the Miko was taken out there. Bit unlucky from Eisomarto to get spotted, but Eisomarto is now saying, hey, if you're going to attack me, you're going to have to face the Kitsune. And Magic has not defended his base well at all here. No heroes in this base. Villager on this side is going to be going down, trying to escape, not going to be able to do so. Even with the reactions that Magic has, he's always really quick at this. The Kitsune are so incredibly fast. Another villager going down. This is brutal. Magic's not running. He's just dropped 3 villagers there, and that's not just dropping villagers. That's also giving Bushido over to Eisomarto. Eisomarto starting this game off in an amazing fashion. Up onto this side now, we do have the Swampland getting dropped. Magic needs to... He just lost 3 Hippias, 4 Hippias to the Swampland. Eisomarto has just found himself with the best possible start to this series he could have hoped for. The best possible start to this series he could have hoped for. But now it's time to lock in. Because guess what? Magic, he's pissed. Magic is now pissed. He is going to be turning into... I'm going to predict it. He's going to turn into Prime Magic right now. And Eisomarto, he's going to have to keep this advantage that he's just grabbed and build on it and not let up. He has to play a really, really good game from this moment in. But he's without a doubt found a very, very good advantage. It's a 3-villager advantage for Magic, even after all of those kills. But you have to remember there are 2 Miko. So at the very least, it's equal on villager diff. Magic moving forward, Atalanta back, Theseus pulling back as well. And I have to say, the mistake here that Magic has made early game is not leaving a Theseus at home. You don't need the Theseus in the offense against Susanoo in the early game. This is a defensive unit. It sits on your gold mine, it sits on your weak points, and you basically use it to dissuade the Kitsune from charging into your base and trying to pick off your villagers. Eisomarto, on the other hand, has played an impeccable early game. He has completely punished what Magic was trying to do. And now Magic, well, he's made himself some Toxotes. They're not going to be helping against the Naginata Riders that are coming through. And in fact, if Eisomarto wants to, he can very much be looking for fights here with all of his units. He's got the Yati Spearmen, which are going to be terrifying for those Magic Hippias. He's got the Yumi, not the Yumi Archer, the Bushian, just in case there's any Centaur, but Magic isn't building those. And he's got the Kitsune to dart away from this position, which he should do, and look for harassment in the main base. There's a wood line, there's the gold mine here, there's the chickens here as well. He can attack both at once and be really, really, really annoying. That being said, Eisomarto here is giving Magic just that little bit of an opportunity here. He's going heroic age. So he's taking his foot off the gas and he's trying to convert the advantage that he's built up with a heroic age. Magic here needs to make something happen in the next minute. Otherwise, he might be in for a little bit of a difficulty as the Hippie is going to take the fight on this spot. Yati Spearmen are really, really strong here, but the micro is good. In the main base, however, raids coming through. 1 villager drops, 2 villager drops. Another villager going to be full. Another 2 villagers are going to be going down as Magic is getting brutalized there, but he gets a nice amount of kills in the middle. The Bushi do get away, however. So it's not a win for Magic there in the slightest with that fight. Magic needs to take advantage of the fact that he's got a military advantage now, though. He picked off the Yati Spearmen. He picked off a handful of units. He lost some villages. Magic needs to strike back right now. But Raijin is through. 1 Hippias goes down. Nice turnaround from Magic. He thought he could pick the unit there, but he decides to run away instead of going after it. As the Hippias are getting chased down, return fire is brutal here. And Eisomarto is now about to hit Raijin, and that's going to be the Thunderdome of well, it's just going to be some pain coming in for him. But there's ceasefire. So Thunderdome comes down, ceasefire, retreat. That's got to be the option where that's concerned. As the Raiju comes in, you have to click ceasefire here. Magic will still get hit by this as he tries to escape with his units, splits everyone up. Will get out of the Thunder. No, he gets hit again. He's got to run everyone, and he does get out of there as the... No, he was out of... What the hell? He was out of there. Anyways, his Toxotes do come down to a very small amount of HP, and now Eisomarto is going to be happy to take this fight. Unfortunately for Magic, he doesn't have any way to heal up his units, and Magic is going to be looking to put the pressure on right now. There's lots of resources in the bank for Eisomarto. A secondary usage of the Swampland, and Magic is going to be probably unable to win this fight. He's equal on, well, he's not even equal on military diff here. The hoplites will be good versus those Naginata Riders, but there's just so much more stuff for Eisomarto at the moment as Magic will get a little bit of damage off. The Raiju going to be charging in here, looking for villagers to pick. That will be a dead villager over here. The army falls, and I think that not even Magic is going to be able to bring this one back after this has been such a well-played game from Eisomarto in more ways than one. And Magic will tap out as he realizes, yes, the game is indeed done. The big mistake here from Magic was he didn't leave the Theseus at home. Alternatively, he didn't make the base walled up. So, for example, he had gold here, he had a wood line here. All he has to do is build his base in a way that walls from here to here and from here to here, and then build that wall up with the double stables, the houses, and everything else. Use the temple as part of the wall, and the Kitsune would not have found the value that they did in this game. And that's where Eisomarto had the advantage. Magic didn't find the advantage here in this game with his own early game attack. He didn't kill any villagers. Really, he killed one. And Eisomarto was just punishing Magic non-stop with those raids. Magic's got to wake up now, realize there are no easy wins in this tournament. Top 16. There's not much difference between a top 16 player and a top 8 player. There's not much difference between a top 8 player and a top 4 player, and there's not much difference between a top 4 player and a top 1 player in Age of Mythology. This is a very, very competitive scene. Very, very high-level players here. We'll see what the players are going to pick for the next game as they are probably all ready to go. And off we go into the draft to see what they're going to pick next. Okay, so we've got the win for the Susano. We're going in onto the map Budapest. And I did call it right. It looks like it's going to be a Freyr versus Loki. A fair. Okay. Let's just see what's happening here. Are they already off to the races? Looks like they are. Alrighty. Alrighty. So off into the next game on the map, Budapest. Freyr versus Loki. This one is sure to be fireworks. Now, if we go into game number 2 here, Eisomarto did manage to claim that first win. Magic in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Freyr, and Eisomarto as Loki. It's got to feel really, really good for Eisomarto to get that win versus Magic. There is a little bit of that Magic aura when it comes to playing against a player of the caliber of Magic. It's like when you play against someone like the Mister, when you play against someone like Recon, when you play against someone like Kavoth, you play against someone like Magic. Oftentimes you go, this guy is better than me. I gotta do something wild to get a win. But Eisomarto came into that first game and said, no, I got the level. And he came out with a really, really solid game plan and stuck to it, played a great game, and showed Magic that he means business. Now Magic's got to switch on. He's playing a god that I think is really good on this map. He jumps off onto the side water first, gets his dock down, going to take all 8 fish over here. We are on the map Budapest. On the top side of the map, we got ourselves the fish over here as well. And well, both players are probably going to end up with 8 fish to start this game off. Eisomarto might look for a dock over on this side. Not 100% sure, but he might look for a dock on that left side. Magic for the moment I think he's started this game off maybe just a little bit more efficiently than Eisomarto. He's grabbed himself the fish on the side, which means he's got more of an advantage here. If Magic scouts the fact that this dock, I don't think he has, he doesn't know. If Magic sees that this dock is only just dropped, well, he could drop his own dock over here and he could probably steal 2 fish and end up having if you steal 2 fish or 4 fish, it's like having a plus minus diff of 4 or 8, right? So for example, if Magic gets 16 from the top and the side, but also gets 4 over here, then, well, Eisomarto is going to be left with only 10 fish instead of the 16, which is a big turnaround, right? Actually, I don't think that math is correct. Anyways, we'll just pretend that I did something okay there, and we'll see how it's all going to go. Now, Magic's game plan for this game as Frere is going to be, let's extend this game as long as we possibly can. But Eisomarto has one very powerful ace up his sleeve. If you break it down, you go, what are the Loki strengths? Well, Loki's strength number 1 is flaming weapons with all of his Hursa out for a massive amount of myth unit spawn. Sounds really good, right? Unfortunately, that flaming weapons is met with Tempest. Tempest is a heroic age god available through, not Ulla, Aegir, available through Aegir only for Frere. Frere is a DLC god for the Norse, right? So that Tempest is a pretty hard counter to Bragi, which means we shouldn't actually go Bragi as Loki. The unit to worry about from Aegir as well as the Tempest is the Rock Giant. But the Rock Giant has got a really big weakness. If you know about this weakness, you know about this weakness. And that weakness is crush damage. And the unit that Eisomarto should be looking to build to deal with that Rock Giant is his fellow giant brethren, the Mountain Giant, the Jotun, and the Jarl. Those 2 units are going to be very key to Eisomarto finding an advantage in this matchup. There goes the Forseti for Eisomarto. Not surprised to see Forseti here. It's kind of an openish map. You can get some pretty nice movement around. That being said, I think Heimdall versus Frere is the better call 95% of the time because Undermine counters Asgardian Bastion. If I don't have to deal with an Asgardian Bastion, we're good to go. Now, Magic, he should be very happy to see Forseti. It means he's going to be able to drop his fortress whenever he wants, and it means he's going to be able to get himself to a second gold mine that's going to be really safe, and he doesn't have to worry about anything here. And we actually are also seeing Eisomarto already queuing up Bragi. I really don't think this is a good idea from Eisomarto, unless he knows something that I don't know about Bragi inside of maybe the Call of Valhalla or the Thorazaz Rune or the Swineray or something like that. This is going to be just that little bit terrifying for Eisomarto to deal with if Magic manages to do the Frere game plan and get out of his base and make it all work. Meanwhile, Magic is also building up houses around his main town center, saying, I don't want to deal with anything, charging in while I'm off doing my own thing, getting himself great halls, long houses, just building everything up, playing defensive, not really a huge amount of attack series. The spy onto the Berserk is a little bit of an interesting one. Eisomarto actually spies and tries to trap Magic in here. Magic's going to be running out the bottom side for the moment. A very strange spy there from Eisomarto. I think the best usage of spy generally is going to be on the main army of Frere, because you're looking for wherever this Asgardian Bastion gets dropped down. Wherever that gets dropped down is what you're looking for. But nonetheless, Doc getting taken down here from Eisomarto as Magic is going to be looking for his first little bit of damage. He does have some units here to help him run, but he's not got the vision and he's going to get caught out here. He really can't afford to be taking a fight this early on versus Loki. This is exactly what Eisomarto is looking for. Magic now attempting to pull back. He's going to take some damage. The throw and axeman getting in close so that they're going to be actually hitting. They don't have ballistics just yet. Going to take a little bit of damage. Shouldn't really lose all too much. And now the throwing axeman can come in and start shooting scoop backwards. And Eisomarto can't really chase this down. And Eisomarto smartly here, he should look to run. And he should look to take the advantage over on this spot as, well, one longboat is out. This forces out some reaction from Eisomarto regardless. So this is basically trading equally and also getting a little bit of favor as well in. Nonetheless, another great haul coming up from Magic. And he is going to be happily spamming out units, but he is, and he should be thinking, let's get the small snipes. Let's play defense. Let's get walls up. He is looking for raids in the main base, and he gets a Vilpic. He gets a Vilpic there. He gets out with those raiding cavalry. No problems up to the top here. The longboat is unfortunately going to be losing its life to the superior dragon ship. Siege ship, greater than arrow ship, greater than hammer ship, greater than siege ship, as Magic's attempt to lock off that water does fail him. But he forces out some stuff. He gets some trades, and he doesn't lose a whole amount. A whole lot of stuff here. But now Magic here doesn't realize he's been spied. And that spy that I was talking about, this is what you want from the spy. This is the spy you want. You want to see this army because now an Asgardian hill fort is going down, and Eisomarto has to take this fight. That being said, there is a Ghoul and Bursty that should get dropped here for Magic immediately. And it is going to happen. He is coming through. He's looking straight onto the back line. The throwing axemen going up against each other. The raiding cavalry here can't get around onto the back as a Draugr spawns. There goes the healing spring. This fight here cannot be good for Eisomarto. He's got to run. And that is a overwhelming victory for Magic in this fight. The trolls get sent flying. One troll down, two trolls down. Magic now going to be pulling back. The Ghoul and Bursty is going to be threatening those units back, and Magic gets his position here set up. That Asgardian hill fort is going to be finishing. He gets another kill here from the Ghoul and Bursty just to add insult to injury, and Magic is well and truly in front here. As what can Eisomarto do? He's moved over onto his second gold mine, of course. So too has Magic. Magic's actually taken everyone. I love this decision from Magic. Taking everyone off of wood, everyone off of gold as well to move up to these next gold mines. And he's now got himself 34 villagers on gold. A-gear coming through, and he is going to have a lot of resources to play with. Lots of favor as well. If he wants to, he can go for the upgrade and get another hill fort into the face of Eisomarto. We're starting to see a bunch of berserks coming through as Eisomarto is just in full panic mode. Full panic. I can't. God, my throat is gone. Eisomarto is in full panic mode to just get out some army. But he has managed to click up through Bragi. But does it matter? Like I said, Tempest is coming. And Tempest... This has never happened to me before. And Tempest is a ridiculous answer for Bragi. The Battle Boar does have some crush damage. The Battle Boar is an answer to the Rock Giant. To some degree. But it's not the Mountain Giant. It is not the Mountain Giant in the slightest. The Draugrs coming through. No upgrades for the Draugrs just yet from Magic is a bit of a mistake. That's a huge upgrade. It makes them so much more powerful. But Magic says, I can just charge in here and I can just win the fight at the moment. He's dropping Tempest now, though. Eisomarto can just run into the town center and he might lose a few units, but he will be able to get off his own Mythic Age usage of Flaming weapons. Berserk's coming up onto this side. He's pushed off the gold line there. Magic has left. He's moved over onto this position, but the damage coming through here. Villagers are going to be falling. Magic sees his advantage in this game, and he is going after those raiding cavalry, those throwing axemen with this raiding cavalry. Flaming weapons gets dropped into the main base. The Berserk's going after villagers, so Eisomarto is getting some good value in the main base. A troll spawn there as well, but the main base of Eisomarto is getting brutalized here. Where are the Rams to just dominate this position? I don't know. Magic loses all of his villagers, though. And he's an equal military population here. Eisomarto with an amazing turnaround. An amazing turnaround here. He's in front on villager count. Up onto this side, however, this is the issue. This gold mine is going to be under attack, but he does a villager, a Berserk Narok, Mini 1. Flaming weapons is done here. And I don't think Magic's got an advantage anymore. The advantage that he's got is being Frere at this point against Bragi without a Mountain Giant. That's the advantage that he's got. He's got to slow down here. He's got to remass up an army. He's got to be very careful with what happens now because there's a lot of favor that Magic's got to spend. Eisomarto, he is going to make himself battleborn. He has to. He's spent all of his favor already. So he's been making these myth units. He's been making it happen. Raiding cavalry coming in onto this side. However, hitting off the gold is going to be huge. Any little bits of raid series is going to be really important. One raiding cavalry falls. Another couple of berserks getting converted. That's what Magic wants. Keep on converting them, he says. Eisomarto, however, needs Call of Valhalla. This will help prop up Eisomarto in a big way. Gets a Frost Giant spawn. That's huge. Every little bit helps here because he is falling behind on villagers. Magic is in his element on these raids, and he has managed to rejig himself a significant villager advantage now. He's up 7 vills. That ends up being a lot of resources and a lot of advantage moving forward, on top of the fact that he's also Frere with the cheaper upgrades. Armory situation, though, Magic has forgotten to get those armory upgrades. It's the first thing you want to do when you get into the heroic age is start those upgrades because they take so long to come in, but they are so cheap. Troll coming through. Big spot, wow. That micro from Magic, I thought that was going to be a huge amount of damage, but great dodge. Up onto the top side now, going to try and take out the docks, trying to limit, trying to get some sort of an advantage cooking here. But the raiding cavalry see the berserks. It's time. Oh, no, they don't. They run straight by the berserks as the berserks run right over them. Magic does manage to notice here. He does a little bit of a ring around the rosy before getting out of there. Throw an axe on the top here, going after the myth units. Picks off a berserk. Still no Call of Valhalla from Eisomarto. Has to be a mistake. He's got 20 of them. That's 10 favor just from them dying. Now he has queued them up, but it's more important the 10% hit points that you get for them. The survivability is everything. The cheapness of the upgrade is everything. But Magic continues to pick units off. That being said, there is a hill fort here. There's no need to charge in after this. And look at this micro from Magic. Really, really smart. Keep pulling back. Keep getting that damage done. He can frontline this with the raiding cavalry. Those throwing axemen getting sent packing with the trolls, however. Huge damage onto the back line. I don't know who's going to be winning this fight, but it's not looking like it's a overwhelming win for either player here. Herso getting on top of those myth units is huge for Magic, but he's lost all of his throwing axemen basically as the myth units will fall, but the favor is coming through. Eisomarto is now up to 57 favor. More trolls are on the way. Throwing axeman trying to come in from Magic. It's now looking like a slight lead for Magic. Now he's got the great Jarls in to tank up. There's no berserks anymore. There's no herdmen anymore. And it is looking like Magic is going to break through this army and have himself enough of an advantage here to probably drop a town center. I don't think he can win on this moment unless Eisomarto keeps sending units into the meat grinder here. He's got to be sitting back playing defense for a little bit longer. Magic, on the other hand, I think a simple move here is dropping the town center, but also dropping another temple. Another temple here, and rock giants and Draugr. You don't need more. You don't really need more than 2 rock giants. That's the limit on the rock giants, I think. More than 2, they're just overlapping on the stun, unless you are going to put the effort into microing them such that you can taunt and then taunt and then taunt manually, and you do it really well, sure, build as many of those as you want. But if you're not going to do that, and I know Magic isn't, he isn't one of those players that likes to micro like that, simple solution to that problem is just make Draugr. Draugr are arguably the best backline myth unit for the Norse, and that includes the Fire Giant as well, funnily enough. We are also going to be seeing a pretty big... What the spend? That's a 70 favor Freyr's gift there. The way that technology works is every technology you research through the game will take 5 favor off. As one taunt comes in, the next Rock Giant comes in to bring the units even further forward. The next one taunts is... Magic gets the perfect micro. He didn't do it on purpose, but he gets the perfect micro off there, and he completely wins that fight. And Eisomarto says, GG, well played. What a game there. That was... I mean, if you don't like this type of game, you don't like Norse Wars, you don't like Age of Mythology, that game was chaos from start to end. The big moment here was Eisomarto managing to make what looked like it was going to be an overwhelming victory for Magic after the early sort of poor fight from Eisomarto on this position, right? It looked like it was going to be an overwhelming victory for Magic, but Eisomarto's raid into the main base was so key. But then Eisomarto just couldn't stabilize from that moment, and it was the Villager picks and the forced Berserk Narok defense to change it all. As you can see right here, this is what happened. This is the big thing. One player dropped down to well, Magic, Eisomarto was winning. He dropped down to 40 villagers apiece. And then here, dropped down to 37 to 44. And from that moment on, yes, you can win in this moment. You can win with this difference. This isn't a game-winning victory, but there just wasn't any way for Eisomarto to stop the bleeding. No way for him to find a weakness in Magic's spot and get some aggressive raids back. And he just couldn't win that last fight from Magic there. But very, very nice game. We'll move back into the draft, see what they're going to pick for game number 3. Let's check it out. Alrighty, our next one is going to be a Gaia versus Shennong on the map. What was the map? What did they say? Giza. Alrighty. So Giza the map for Gaia Shennong. I like this one here for the Magic Man. I really like Gaia on this map versus Shennong. I think it's going to be a nice one. And we are going to do a little cheeky business here. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Let's go. All right. So we're going to be jumping into the next map. Actually, are we going to be jumping into it? Give me 1 second. I don't know how far behind I am here. Not far enough behind, I think. Okay. The players are off to the races, doing their thing. All right, so yeah, Gaia Shennong on the map Giza. I said it last time. I want to see it. I want to see the robots. Build me some automaton, Magic Man, and I'll be a happy man. That's what I want to see. This is the strat here versus Shennong. I've seen it once before. I saw Kavoth get an amazing map and an amazing hold, but it was still an amazing game regardless. I think that if it is an amazing map, you still want to go Leto, though, in this matchup. You still want to go Leto. If it's an amazing defensive map for the Shennong, no problems. Do a economic guild less, fast second town center, then get your oracles, then put your economic guild and go up to your techs, and then go for your death ball of automatons and enjoy it versus the Shennong, who is going to have a really tough game here. Automatons are, okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's a Civ right now that I wouldn't go Leto against as Gaia. I don't think so. I'd do it versus Norse, which I wouldn't do it before. I do it versus Norse now. I do it versus Greek now, without question. I do it versus Egyptian, 100%. I do it versus the Aztecs. I've already done it versus the Aztecs for success. I have that game in the VOD archive somewhere. I do it versus Japan. I do it versus everyone. The only time I wouldn't go automatons, I would still go Leto, but I would actually go for Stymphalian birds, would be if my opponent had some sort of very, very strong AoE damage myth unit. So, for example, if my opponent goes for... Actually, I'll probably still go automatons versus Sphinx, but if my opponent goes for Sphinx, or if my opponent goes for the Cyclops, or if my opponent goes for... Brain doesn't want to help me out here with these AoE damage dealing myth units. Norse doesn't have any. Atlantean doesn't have any. China doesn't have any. Japan has the one Udor, but that doesn't count. Yeah, no, it's basically just those two. Against Sphinx and against the Cyclops, you just get to the heroic age, you make Stymphalian birds. There's no problem. The one Udor doesn't beat the automaton. Trust me on that one, Mr. Jung Oath, the I don't know how to play the game one. Onwards and upwards into our next game. We are going to be going into Giza, Gaia versus Shennog. Let's check it out. Alrighty, off to the races we go in the left-hand corner. Gaia, or the Magic Man. In the right-hand corner, Eisomarto, playing as Shenong. And he goes for the Shenong farms in the right spot. I was like, okay. I'm still not a big fan of... I'm not a big fan of this opening. I'm not a big fan of this opening from Eisomarto. But at least it makes sense. At least it makes sense from the man, the myth, the legend, Eisomarto here. The real big strength of this is the fact that we've got a defensive position for our gold mine. It's unraidable. It's unkillable. The only way to beat this is the Aztec bunny rabbit. It's literally the only way to beat... No, you can kill it. It's 600 HP, but the Aztec bunny rabbit can eat those and reveal the villages or whatever. But this here is a very, very interesting opening. The reason I don't like it is because it takes a while for the farms to actually pay themselves off. And if I want to do anything other than a classical fight, or a one talent center classical fight, or a one talent center fast heroic, then it's better to have not done this. So basically, if I want to go for a second talent center, it's better to have not done this. So that's the point. And in this case, I'm watching Eisomarto's map, and I'm seeing it. He's got a very, very nice gold mine over here, but it's open. He has a pretty bad gold mine in front of his second talent center, which is very much out in the open as well. I think it's going to be super hard for him to go for a fast second talent center and defend it on the second gold mine. So I think that the one talent center play here is going to be better for Eisomarto, so that the starting of the farms makes sense. But you just don't know until you scout whether you should do this. That's the hard part. That's the part that makes this a little bit odd. Magic, on the other hand, he does drop his economic guild. He does go for his temple nice and safe in his main base. And he is going Oceanus. So I couldn't be more upset at Magic. And not only this, he's also going to be going for a fast second talent center, it looks like, which I couldn't be any more upset against. So recently, and I do agree with this from the players who've been doing this, recently players have stopped dropping the economic guild right away. Yeah, it's really cheap. It doesn't really cost much. It doesn't really, like, it probably costs about, what's that? like, it probably costs about 50 resources, 55 resources or so to build with the idle villager time. But you also get hand axe, you also get pickaxe. They don't pay themselves off fast enough. The whole thing doesn't pay itself off fast enough to justify going for, and if you want to go for the fast second town center, which is looking like Magic does, it's just going to be a later second town center. It's better to go up the town center first, then get the economic upgrades in. But this does give Magic the option to do things like Oracle Hero, get relics, enjoy that, no problems. And he's going to be going for them. He gets Ogre Bitten Helm. He gets himself the Armor of Achilles. So there is some rhyme to the Magic reason here. But I don't like Magic's map either for this second town center. That being said, a bad second gold mine for Gaia is a lot less bad than a bad second gold mine for a Chinese player. Because if I'm if I'm Magic here, I'm thinking early to move to this gold mine with a mana on it and just happily garrison if anyone comes in, any raids come in. If there's a Yatsa coming through, no problems. I'll just get myself the hero over there. We're all good. At this point, a little bit of shanky shanks going on as the where is the hero? Oh, Galadriel does come in, does get sniped there as Magic getting caught out by the old homing ballistics pioneers. For those of you who are currently looking at what's happened recently and like, how did that Galadriel die? I remember it never dying. Well, the Galadriel, if you get it out of position and your opponent has the heroes actually hit the Galadriel now, which is what I would consider to be a fantastic change. So yeah, you got to be a lot more careful with your Galadriel, a lot more careful with your Pegasus. Of course, the Raven would die regardless because it's got no HP. Still, mind you, can't believe how many times I've asked for the Raven to get a HP boost, but it's never going to happen. Alrighty. Poor Raven. Alright, so Magic now searching around the map, and he's going to look for his own raids. We do have a very aggressive town center from Eisomarto dropped at the moment, though. Doesn't really give him anything either. A wall is needed here, a wall is needed here, and a wall is needed here for these back two gold mines to feel safe. That's a lot of problems there as Eisomarto's Yatsa does get caught out. Hero Murmillo trying to come in, trying to find some stuff. Magic's going to be enjoying himself his bow sword. Potentially also going to go for his next upgrade there as well in Shaft Mine, just to get himself a bit of an edge. Now the Termera coming through. We do have Eisomarto already pre-queuing in Rush Shoal, which is going to give him access to Fey Beasts, which is something that Magic needs to be very, very careful about. And the point of this is, if you aren't prepared for Fey Beasts, you end up losing a lot of units. You end up losing a lot of units as Atlantean. How do you get prepared for it? Simple. Just make sure that you heroize your Murmillos. And once the Rush Shoal comes in, you're always sitting those Hero Murmillos on top of your Terma as the general game plan. As the Terma come through, going to attempt to get some damage done onto those Pioneers. He does get some nice throws in, but the Pioneers will be away from here. No problems. With little bits of love taps coming in around everything. Magic looking for the main base here as the Murmillos do spot the wood line here. Is this the first time he spotted it? He does see it there. He's going to go after the temple. This is a nice amount of damage. Anytime you can potentially take out a temple, you absolutely should. Fire archers are in though, as Magic's got to be scared about those. They are a damage dealing machine of a unit. If you've got an infantry tag on you, you should be scared of those, as Magic's going to be roaming around trying to play away from the rest of these reinforcements. Running through the main base is a little bit risky here, and Eisomarto does come in, does spot that, and these Murmillos are going to be getting taken out. Great play from Eisomarto. Magic might be able to get out of here, keeping it alive. No, I don't think he will. This chillin' is going to get a snare in. Murmillo drops down to 3.8 speed. Fire archers can chase. Bit of the damage coming. 4 HP remaining on that bad boy. And this has to be a really good feeling for Eisomarto. But Magic behind this, he's put pressure on. He's going Thea. Eisomarto is going his own heroic age. It's about equal on the teching. So basically the advantage that Eisomarto has gotten, has managed to gain here is just going to be in the small amount of military lead that he's got in the Fire Archer and the Wuzu Javelineer. And I think it's really not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things, because these units can't do a whole lot by themselves. So Eisomarto is going to have to rush into something else. And I imagine his unit of choice is probably going to be the Dao Swordsman right now. On top of this, Magic hasn't gone for any extra oracles just yet. Arguably a mistake. He's got 77 favor in the bank, which isn't nothing, of course, but what's he going to use that on? I'd love to see him have a couple more oracles. He could plan to save the 125 favor for a third Hesperids tree. Of course, all of the unique upgrades need to come through as well. So those are going to be an issue. Well, not an issue. Those are going to cost him something, as he does get his technologies in. Poseidon's Secret, Lands of Stone. All of that makes sense. And immediately Eisomarto sees that and says, no worries. It's time for Master of Weaponry and the Get Halberdier to come through. The reason why I suggest a third Hesperids tree and a lot more stuff here is because the Stymphalian bird, you can't really get a huge amount of them, right? Your opponent can make a huge amount of Pioneer. So if you make yourself, say, five Stymphalian birds, as the palace gets found out, Magic not garrisoning into that manner there, unfortunate. But if you get yourself 5 Stymphalian birds, your opponent is going to be able to take those out with the Pioneers. If I have 15 Dryads, all of a sudden, they need a lot more Pioneer to deal with it. And you're going to be able to have a much better game with your sort of Contarius raids and things like that. Meanwhile, Magic is coming up onto this top side, and I brought this up before. Eisomarto needed to get those walls up. There's a Contarius coming in. Can he catch the Kuafu? He cannot. Did he see the other gold mine, though? He didn't see it. He does see the gold finished up onto this side as the Contarius are charging around over here. Being pushed off this gold mine isn't the end of the world here for Magic. Magic can move over onto this gold mine. He's still got some in the main base as well. Just that all of his citizens are stuck over on this bottom position as well. Where do I stand with the spamming of because the Hesperids tree produces Dryads, I'm okay with a third cast of Hesperids tree. Magic does charge in. His villagers are going to come through here. He doesn't have... he does have... No, he doesn't have any heroes in at the moment. So this Carnivora... Oh, no, it's his Carnivora. Never mind. Doesn't have any heroes, but there's no myth units, so no worries. Gets onto his gold mine, pushes Eisomarto back. That fight there did not go well for Eisomarto at all. Is he not making units? Not exactly sure why he lost that fight so hard, but there's also the raids going on over here as the Halberdier will be in. Little bits of micro from Magic to try and win this fight. This is really nice from him. Managed to keep most of his units alive. Those Halberdiers, they are scary though. They do so much damage. Trying to take the villagers out onto the back. Is this Halberdier going to be retreating over onto that side? Villagers will just turn around and start shanking, and Magic does need to get out of here. Magic can also go for destroyers now to break through this front position. But he doesn't have... Now he's going for them. The destroyers are a very difficult unit. He does have one. A very difficult unit for China to deal with, because they don't have a hard counter for the destroyer, which a lot of other civs do have inside of like Axeman or Haspist or Throwing Axeman or Fanatic, or the list goes on, right? China doesn't have one. What China has is the Dao Swordsman or the Divine Damage Halberdier, which can be okay. You grab this technology, Divine Judgment. That's the best way to deal with the Destroyer as China. As there goes the Fey Beasts. And Magic will turn around. This could be the turnaround. Magic has got no heroes. Look at the damage these Fey Beasts are doing. It doesn't tell me how much damage, but look at the death. Jump onto the Lush. Heal the units up. Oof. That there is a beautiful turnaround from Eisomarto. Magic not respecting that Fey Beasts in the slightest. His army does stay alive, kind of. A Caladrier is now out to help. You've got to be careful not to drop that one, though, because the Pioneers see that and they go, I will happily take you to town, as Magic tries to get his units back to save. The Tautier special attack coming through takes out a couple of those low HP units with the AoE before pulling back away from this position. Magic, after all the good damage he's done so far, has found himself in a very, very difficult position. Oops. That was not what I meant to do there. Why can't I click on this? Oh dear. Oh, that's why. Let's just ignore what's going on there. Alrighty. Arcus now coming in to help out on the defense. Generally speaking, the Arcus is one of those units that is an amazing addition here against China as well. Especially versus Shenong. When you go Destroyer Arcus, you can help take out that front line very, very nicely. There goes that lightning weapons, but Magic was already on the retreat. He just gets away, no problems here. The villagers on this side, they can pop onto wood and Magic can make a movement over onto this gold mine. It's not a problem for Magic here to take a little bit of a load off and not take the fight at all. However, Tautier with that special coming through. Unfortunately, Eisomarto, he's not using that special ability correct. You want to use it on auto cast. Does drop it onto the Fire Arch. He's getting a big amount of AoE damage done. The Arcus here sitting put, trying to hold on. More Arcus are going to be coming through here. Destroyers tanking it up onto that back line. Once the front line falls, however, the back line will be falling very quickly afterwards. Dryads in queue coming through. Not a huge amount of heroes in for Eisomarto either. However, behind this, look at Eisomarto's food and Eisomarto's gold. He wants a Mythic Age. He doesn't want to spend. He's at 168 pop. He will be able to go there momentarily. He will be able to go there momentarily. But he's grabbing upgrades. I don't mind the upgrades getting grabbed. Up onto the top, a fantastic White Horse Cavalry raid coming into the top side. Does Magic have any counter barracks? He has one. Making a handful of catapulties here is a good idea for Magic. We are going to be seeing Huang Di coming through. Eisomarto, he's looking like he's in a pretty good spot here. He is looking like he's in a pretty good spot. We see a couple of units coming up to try and take out the White Horse Cavalry. The Oracle hero also coming into the mix, wanting to get involved here. The White Horse Cavalry say, we can just take out your Arcus and then flee, no problems. Little bits of damage to come in, but the Palace is up, so those White Horse Cavalry are no longer of use. We'll have the Weightless Mace in for Magic, as he knows, mate, Weightless Mace plus some catapulties is going to be nice. The Oracle stays alive for the time being. Magic's the issue here for Magic is that he is not aware that a Mythic Age is coming. And if he gets caught out of position with these Arcus, well, Huang Di and Ying Long are going to have a field day with them. Of course, if Magic just heroizes them all right now, he's going to be prepared. And the Ying Long is not going to be that useful. But Magic's not doing that. He's looking up to the top. He's looking for raids, trying to push Eisomarto away from these top gold spots. Getting this map control in on these two positions is vitally important for Magic because Eisomarto already has one gold mine coming his way in the middle. He's got the two gold mines at the back as well that are going to be expiring. And basically, if Magic can take this position in the middle, he's going to have a fantastic time in this game, regardless of what happens with these Mythic Age spikes that are coming through. But Huang Di is very much in, and Magic is not in position to defend against this. If I'm Eisomarto, I'm looking to drop this immediately, but Magic pulls back. Now he's in position to garrison. He should be okay here. It's the main base under attack. Nothing over here just yet. One Hundun to come in for somewhat of a defense. There goes the watchtowers as well, as the Hundun does get a massive amount of damage with that special attack. The Magic needs to heroize his Arcus, and now he's going for it. He will have Atlas momentarily. There's a Hundun on the front as well to help take down the palace. He doesn't have to care a huge amount about that. That's not enough Arcus. Here comes the Yinglong immediately on top of the Arcus ball. Huge damage to come down in the moment of 2-3 seconds. 3 attacks comes in. The Yinglong does 770 damage, but does get chunked for 1,000 HP. And that was all because Magic had the time to get those Arcus heroes out. If he got even more, it could have been an even better situation there. The Arcus heroes are in. Good damage onto the Hundun. And the Yinglong is going to be searching for other things to take out. The army in the main base there from Magic was dealt with. But Atlas, Implode is going to kill all the Wuzu Javelineer. Implode is going to kill all the Fire Archers. Implode is going to kill those Pioneer. Magic has a big turnaround here. Very, very shortly. He does not need to take the fight because he can just erase all these units in one swift blow. And he will drop that Implode down on this position. Eisomarto simply just has to sit here, try and get as much damage as he possibly can in. All the units for Eisomarto end up falling. And that there is a big turnaround on the other side as the Yinglong over onto this side, searching to take out villages, main base under attack. Magic needs to get his hero Arcus after that bad boy. Of course, the Yinglong does have the movement speed advantage, 4.5, but not on top of Lush. 4.3 speed when on top of Lush. Does he have the upgrade? He does when on top of Lush. They go up to what? They go up to 4.9 speed. So more than enough to chase this bad boy away, but the Lush isn't everywhere. The Yinglong makes the run into this position. Big attack from Magic as he's trying to pull this game back from the brink. Destroyers can take out the ballet, do all the other good stuff. Villagers are coming in as well. Big damage onto both players, to be completely honest, as the Yinglong taking big amounts of damage too. 4.5 speed might not be enough to get away here. As Eisomarto trying to flood units in. He's now getting Dow Swordsman in. Those are scary. Does Eisomarto have the upgrades? He's nearly got everything he needs to have one of the strongest late games you possibly can have in Age of Mythology with that Zhuang Yuan's bloodline, with the Dow Swordsman and everything else. But what Magic can do here and what Magic needs to do here is he needs Fnatic. He needs this deck, Devotees of Atlas, and he needs to be making Fnatic. There's not another good way to go about this. We'll see if we can work it out. The Arcus, they're a nice addition, but I don't think they're enough to take out the 51% Pierce Armor Dow Swordsman. Magic on this side is getting chased. Villagers trying to get up the palace on this side, not able to do so. We've also got the villagers on the forward gold mine while this is all going on. We have a quick look at the gold situation for Eisomarto. He does run out of gold over here. He's still trying to get this gold mine up onto this side. Villagers are dropping, but getting this ballet up is really, really important for Eisomarto. Town center on this side under attack as the destroyers coming through, but the Yinglong is in very hot pursuit. And not only that, the Zhu Chu, this guy's going to come through, and that's going to be a huge amount of damage onto the destroyers. The down center falls, but Magic needs to run here. Losing these units is not going to help him out. We've got attacks coming all over the place as the Dow Swordsman and the Axe Cart going after this town center. The Eisomarto Dow Swordsman turning to take out the Citizen for the time being. Huge damage. We've also got Wen Zhong over here helping out to boot. Town center is down. Eisomarto is down to... Oh, he's got his town center up here. I was about to say down to one town center, but that's not the case. As the Axe Cart going to go down, we still haven't seen the Fanatics out from Magic just yet. The Fanatics are not in just yet for Magic. He hasn't thought about it. He hasn't realized that he needs them. Villagers into the center of the map now. This is the new most important part of the map. This town center, to be honest, doesn't matter. You could sacrifice this if you're Magic. Send everything center. Take this ballet, take this gold, take this gold, take this gold, and you can win the game. We've got a watchtower coming up as well from Eisomarto as Magic now needs to bail. Him getting pushed onto these 2 gold mines is not good for him. Losing the map control is Eisomarto advantage. If the game goes hyper late game into trade route shenanigans, Gaia has somewhat of an advantage there because of the Gaia Lush. That's really all he's got. He's now getting himself the Devotees of Atlas. Realizing he needs to get those Fanatics into this position now. Hero Arcus need to shoot down that Yinglong. They're not attacking anything. Now he's going after the Zhu Chu here. It takes a while for him to die. And the army here is just getting blown to pieces as Magic shooting scoots back, manages to take out the Zhu Chu. Now he can go after the Yinglong, but he's frontlining versus those Dows. So the Dows can take down the Hero Arcus. Nope, Yinglong is down. And I think Magic is going to be able to hold this push. What's happening behind this, though? Eisomarto is struggling to get himself the population. Axe Cart going down. Up to the top. 1 Heavy Murmillo and a Dream. Can the Citizen come through, or does the tower refocus too fast? It does. You come in and just shank the tower down with the Citizens. That's always an option. Citizens have a bonus versus towers. But can Magic do the Magic stuff? Magic, for those of you who don't know, he is arguably the best deathmatch player of all time. There's a couple of other players in the conversation, like Nakamura and Yoshi, but Magic's late game is second to none in the Supremacy world. If Magic can get to an equal late game spot with Gaia, I'd take him over nearly anyone. The Fanatics are coming through, but the issue for Magic is he does not have an equal position. He needs to start a trade route soon. His Citizens chilling over here. He's struggling for gold. Does drop a Carnivora on this position. He's getting pushed back. Trying to take good fights here, but Eisomarto's got infinite. He's got infinite Dow Swordsman to throw into the mass here. We are going to see an attempt at a Palace coming through as this 87.5 crush damage hero. It's basically the same as the Polyphemus, right? Going to be actually taking that Palace out before it's finished up. There's a lightning weapons to come through from Eisomarto, and Magic here is going to be losing this fight. He does have the Fanatics slowly trickling in, but he's got 3 Palace. He does have 3 Palace. So he can get the Fanatics out, but he needs the economy to get them out. And with Eisomarto taking this middle spot and this spot, I don't see Magic having the fight to be able to hold on, basically. Eisomarto is just getting further and further in front. Does Eisomarto have the killer instinct? Yes, he does. He hasn't started a trade route, but he's got 4 markets up, and that trade route is going to come online like this. Now, Magic is looking at this army going, that's just pure Dow. If I build Fnatic, Champion Arcus, and Murmillo and Dryad, I should be able to beat this army. But I think there's a difference here in armory upgrades as well. It's just these are so cheap, so population effective, and Magic just does not yet have himself a full population army that can realistically take these wins. Wen Zhong coming in causing issues as well. Juan Yuan's bloodline helping these guys in a crazy amount. The town center on the back here is going to be falling to boot. I don't know, guys. I might be calling it a little bit soon. Magic's a fighter, but this is looking like Magic can't stabilize into the late game. And Eisomarto is going to find himself with a 4 to 2 town center advantage, but not only just a 4 to 2 town center advantage, but a 4 to 2 town center advantage with the corner, very important corner, town center not available for Magic. So he's not going to be able to have that trade route, giving himself an advantage here. are still seeing Fanatics, but Magic's got 130 pop remaining. He just can't get out of this position. Even underneath the 3 palace, there's just too many units for Eisomarto. And Eisomarto is just continuing to streamline in Axe Carts, Dow Swords with the 56% pierce armor Dow Swordsman. And Magic taps out as he just was not able to get to that position that he needed to get to hold. He needed this middle gold as the primary point of contention. He made a big attack to kill this town center. I think instead of that one decision, he got the town center kill. He lost a bunch of units though. Instead of going for that, pushing these gold mines, setting up his own palaces here, forcing the fight to move away from this position up to this top side, preventing this side from getting grabbed. All of that was the keys to victory, were the keys to victory for Magic, and he just couldn't quite lock it up. Eisomarto, what a game of Shenong from him. This is why Shenong is Eisomarto's portrait, though, in the Streamer Gods package. But a very, very well played game from Eisomarto. The series is not over just yet. The series is not over just yet, but Eisomarto's got 1 win until he makes it to the round of 8. Magic, he's got to pull out some magic here for the next match. Let's see if he can do it. I've seen him come back from worse. Let's jump to the draft, see what they're going to pick. All right, looks like the next map is going to be Mirage. And it's going to be Noir versus Huitzilopochtli. Interesting pick here from Eisomarto. Very, very interesting pick here from Eisomarto. I'm not surprised about the Noir, but Huitzilopochtli here is not a map that I would expect to see this god played on. I don't think it's a priority pick for this map. I think it's very offbeat. Thor makes sense here. Isis makes some sense here. Huitzilopochtli on Gorge? That's what I would be playing. But he picks Huitzilopochtli on Mirage. Maybe he has a cheese in the back of his mind. Fast advance from Huitzilopochtli. Blood packed all in. Makes some sense. Maybe there's a nice dock opening he can go for as well. Drop a dock. Herd your animals in. Get a couple fish. Advance fast. We'll have to wait and see. Magic needs to win this one. If he has any hope. Well, not really. He doesn't have to win this one. He has chances. But this one's very, very important. This sets the tone for what the playoffs are going to be looking like. Let's jump into game number 4 and see if Eisomarto can get to the round of 8 or if Magic is going to be figuring this one out. Let's jump into Mirage. Ladies and gentlemen, off to game number 4. Magic back against the wall. 2-1 for Eisomarto. Magic picks his Noir on the map Mirage. Eisomarto takes Huitzilopochtli and does open up with a dock. This to me is surprising. I like China versus Aztecs. I don't think this is a bad matchup for the Chinese in the slightest. And then you add the fact that it's a water map, that changes things as well. What are the keys to victory here for Magic is the big question. To see a game 5, what does Magic need to do? Well, first and foremost, there's a forward gold mine on this map. He's going to have to protect that. So rushing for a fast second talent center is a little bit risky. He could go for the how-to on this, or the earth wall on the talent center, try and get a talent center up, and maybe that works. It's a little bit risky. I think he has to open up with some units first. Make sure that he doesn't die to any sort of early game warrior priest all in. But we'll see how it's going to go. We have the Jui Coatl on the side. This one's a damage bonus versus myth units, plus 10%. Over on this side, we have the Ankh of Ra, plus 0.06 favor per second there. We've also got over on this side the Jade Hair, nice one for the myth units. And finally, the Tail Feathers of Heaven, with infantry doing bonus damage there to boot. All right. In comes the Kwafu Chieftain as well from Magic. He's got his fishing ships going. He's just playing a nice slow boomy opening. And we do have the Kimichin Spy coming through as Magic says, leave me alone. But he doesn't alt S that. That's really, really weird. But okay. Into the main base, the Skylands, and just getting some important scouting information before it gets shut down there. And, well, Magic. Still no temple. Ready to go to the next stage. What is he going to go for? I really don't like the idea of a 2-talent center fast mythic here from the Aztecs, because you'll die to any aggressive classical age noir if you don't build units. But Magic's not going for that aggressive classical age. I don't know if I like the how-to here after a little bit of thinking. I think potentially going Zhuan Nu here is a little bit better. And opting for more aggression makes a lot of sense. When you think about the unit roster here, one unit that's quite difficult to kill is the Dao Swordsman for Eisomarto, for the Aztecs, up until the Heroic Age unlocks and the Shorn one start coming through. But even the Shorn one can get taken out by fire archers. Of course, you do have to worry about Eagle Warriors and things like that, but you've also got some decent answers to the Eagle Warriors inside of the Javelineers. Unlike a certain civilization, the Egyptian, who don't. Anyways, we'll see what's going to happen. We do see the Warrior Priests coming through, as Eisomarto can look for an early Blood Pact for some early damage. Can also look for some Tejipla cheese that has been nerfed quite a bit. Make one Tejipla now. It costs 20 favor. I think it was launched at like 10 favor or something crazy. And we're seeing a talent. No. There's no way this works. You just get hit with a Blood Pact. Everyone dies. There goes the Heroic Age. Units turning. The big boy getting the rocks thrown in. He will run. And a Blood Pact. Surely a Blood Pact comes through. He's going to turn into the Tejipla onto the backside there. Still no Blood Pact from Eisomarto. What is he thinking? As the Tejipla now coming through, and Magic, he will drop his Earth Wall. I think he was hoping for the Blood Pact so he can just run from it, but the Tejipla will go down. He deletes his town center. That there, I mean, I said it already. He's got to build units first. He can't go for a town center versus this god, but the Warrior Priest coming through, they're going to get some nice damage off, and the Cheongchi will pull back, but, well, Magic is now protected in his main base. I'm very, very confused here. Eisomarto kind of greeting a little bit with the Blood Pact, but he did manage to deny the town center. As the Zhongqi gets taken out by flying over a hero there. And now what for Magic? He's now going to be getting himself his military camp. He can grab this town center as well if he wants to. He's going to go for it. Now he's got a pretty decent response. This is what he should have done in the first place. Couple of Dow Swordsmen and then the Town Center. Warrior Priests do not do well versus the Dow Swordsman. We've got an eyes. Snipe him! What? Oh, the Tajibla goes down. There goes the Bunny Rabbit as well. I'm pretty sure he gets back the resources for it as the Tajibla on this side trying to convert does manage to do so as the Dow Swordsman will retreat out onto this side. The Kwafu chilling for the moment. That Town Center is queued up to get dropped, but Magic trying so hard to get a Town Center where I honestly don't even think he needs to here. Now the Machine Workshop is up and he can play for a classical fight. We'll see if he's going to pop back over and attempt to get this. We've got the Ocelotl Warriors waiting to dive in here. Unfortunately, he doesn't utilize the special. So the way the Ocelotl works, the Ocelotl Warrior works is that when it jumps from ambush mode, when it's invis and jumps out of invis, it gets a big attack speed boost. But if it doesn't, if it's seen and it jumps, then no attack speed boost. The Citizen, as the Kwafu still trying to get this up. See another Tajibla coming through, and it's not going to be quite able to get taken down, but I'm pretty sure you can simply just target this one down with those Dows. It's not a problem. We do have a Blood Pact coming in as the Ocelotl Warrior. That's a huge amount of damage on that Blood Pacted Ocelotl Warrior as the Kwafu hero going down. Of course, you can take the Ocelotl Warrior down. He's not that strong, and he will in fact die. And Magic gets his Town Center up. I think Magic has come out in front here. I could be wrong on calling this, but I think Magic has come out in front. I think that was 3 or 4 Tajibla. Maybe 3 Tajibla. He picked off a Kwafu hero, which comes back over time. It will come back. It kind of works like the Pharaoh. I think it's like 3 minutes or something, maybe 2 minutes. That'll come back online. Magic wants a 3rd town. This guy is crazy. We also see a Town Center coming through for Eisomarto. If Magic can spot that, he can get some real big revenge damage on. But there is also the main base to be worried about. Unfortunately for Magic, I don't think he's even considering the fact that a Town Center could be getting grabbed by Eisomarto here. But both players on 2 Town Centers. Huge military advantage for Magic. I just want to see him kill the temple. Don't even worry about the villagers here. Killing off a temple is one of the best things you can do versus the Aztecs because this is the only place they can build heroes. It's similar to when you play versus Egyptian. If you take out their temple, then they can't make heroes. He's going to dive in onto this side. Drops himself the Agave Bloom down to attempt to try and make this fight work, but just attacking those villagers starts taking away that HP. The Dow Swordsman going after the temple yet again as those Jaguar Riders coming through. But Fire Archers, these guys, well, they deal damage. Doesn't matter how much HP is coming back from that Agave Bloom. It's not enough. And Magic focus fires down the units, kills them both, and he is looking like he is in a commanding position at the moment. But Heroic Age is in for Eisomarto. I keep on saying Coatlicue. I'm still not sure how to say that. But Noble's Hut is going to get taken out. And this means, of course, Fire Archers are on the way. Magic can simply go for Javelineers. I think that the Javelineer with the 4.8 speed, and it does have a little bit less range than the Eagle Warrior, that is more than enough of a unit that can take out the Eagle Warrior. It is a good answer to the Eagle Warrior for Magic. The other option is get Heroic Age. Get Heroic Age and make White Horse Cav. But they die pretty easily to the Tlalmani Spearman. It's a harder micro fight. Magic now says, foot off the gas, pulling back. Does he see the Town Center? No. He's going to check it out, though, make sure that it is up and he gets the information. He sees that one there coming over onto this side. Going to pull away. 2 Eagle Warriors will continue to throw damage in. He's going to split his army off as the Eagle Warriors. In no amount, like they don't really do damage to the Dows. He gets 1 kill, but the Dows will simply pull back. And in fact, if Magic wants to, he can speed walk out of here a little bit. Nice speed walk there, and he'll lose a fire archer for it, but no real problems where that's concerned. As the villagers, the citizen, keep on saying citizen. These guys remind me of citizen because they're 3 pop. The Quafu walls are always your answer versus this type of Eagle Warrior shenanigan. Now, here's the other issue for Eisomarto. One play that he wanted to do in this game was a 40 favor Ayatochli attack. But he can't get into the main base and do that because of the earth wall, because of these walls. He has to break through stuff first and then wander in, which means there should be enough time for Magic to deal with that. On top of that, there's also, I'm saying the Eagle Warriors don't kill Dowers. I just see them, all the Dowers dying. But Magic gets the time in that he needs to get his base sorted. Kinda, yep, to get his base sorted. We'll also see even more walls coming up from Magic, and I'm sure he's just going to drop a ballet immediately. He's got the resources for a Mythic Age ready, but the wood situation not quite in. Grabbing Shaft Mine, maybe not the right idea for this Heroic Age. But we'll see what's going to happen there. So there it goes. Ballet immediately. I have to imagine he's just rushing the Mythic Age in. Mythic Age makes a lot of sense from Magic now. He's not going to take a huge amount of damage, though the Tochli is in. And about... I guess the scary part here is the Blood Pact taking out the Town Center, going to the Mythic Age. But Magic, surely he's going to be getting himself up a Imperial Academy and getting ready to hold here. I just don't like... I don't like that he took the foot off the gas there. He had such a big advantage. Opted for the Heroic Age. And now he's actually under the pump here, as he does decide Zhurong is going to be his god of choice. The Tao Wu comes through, gets that damage done. Fire Archers on the bank. They're going to be getting cleaned up. The White Horse Cav charging in. Shoot and scoop micro from Eisomarto is going to be big. As the Tao Wu, though, that can sit in the front and get some nice damage done. This Ayatochli not getting taken out is so big. As Magic says, it's time for Zhurong, but I'm scared for Magic. I don't think this is the right call. He's going to put a ballet up in the back. He could make himself Javelineers if he wants. He's already invested in the Architect, so he can... They're already up to medium. Does he have himself his Imperial Academy? Now he does. So he can at least get something in. As the Quafu. Hero is going to come in. He does drop the ballet on the back. Of course, the Ayatochli can just come over and nuke that with his upgrades there as the Quafu Hero getting taken down. Now onto the backside comes the White Horse Cav as the White Horse Cav. There's too many of those Eagle Warriors. How many White Horse Cav do you need to kill off that amount of Eagle Warrior? More than 4. That's the simple answer. And not only that, units dying here is giving Tenali over to Eisomarto as he is creeping up to his 40 favor for that Blood Pact. Now Magic does manage to get what I would consider to be probably enough of these White Horse Cav. Can he get in and actually take them all out is the big question. I think he will. And once you get to a small enough amount, then they will be very, very powerful here. Blood Pact does get dropped onto the Tochli, and Magic's going to be leaving that one. His White Horse Cav aren't really working for him here at the moment, as this ballet and that ballet might end up going down here. Magic's got to actually finish off the Tochli, as it does use its special to roll in instead of moving onto this side. A little bit of better micro from Eisomarto. Could have killed off both of those positions. But the Mythic Age from Magic will be in. Off onto the top side. There is this ballet coming through as some villagers going down. Magic will garrison. But, I mean, do you drop the flame down onto the Eagle Warriors? What do you go straight in for Tiger Cav here? The fact of the matter is, Eisomarto should be making some spearmen. Him not making spearmen here, at least a handful, he's got one war hut queued up, at least a handful of spearmen is very, very confusing for me. The other Ayatochli over here, this one's going to end up getting taken down. This Magic will drop the big god power into the main base, trying to take out some villagers. I think it does, yeah. We'll pick off a handful of villagers here. So this is the type of damage that Magic needs to equalize a little bit. He takes out a couple villas, takes out a town center. He's going to be somewhat equal moving forward, but he needs to get the advantage on White Horse Cav to take out those Eagle Warriors in the middle. As he charges after them, gets that damage started. The Eagle Warriors will turn as the White Horse Cav looks like they will finally get that fight that they're after, as more coming in onto the backside. Magic trying to get the surround onto them, does manage to do so. Great control from Magic as Eisomarto's numbers are starting to dwindle, and that was a very big military advantage from Eisomarto. The Magic manages to get through that. Can't keep fighting, can't keep moving here into the main base though. He's got to be careful. One Thalmani Spearman in, more Thalmani Spearman coming through. Town Center going to be coming back online, but Magic is up now to 3 Town Centers, or just about up to 3 Town Centers. But Magic throws away all of his units. She just took the win and ran away. That's something that I don't see enough of. As the Jutsu is in, it doesn't tell me it's picked off villagers, but I guarantee you villagers have been picked off. Huge opportunity here for Magic, but he's not paying attention. Huge opportunity. Look at all the villagers. He turns. Eisomarto, not paying attention. He ran the villagers, but they're back here as well. Now look at that damage coming in. This thing does so much damage to these villagers. Eisomarto is going to get completely brutalized here. Of course, Magic has got 90 favor in the bank. That unit, the Jutsu, has to be built again. It's an amazing answer for Eagle Warrior, everything. And it forces Eisomarto to make the Warrior Priests. As the Tiger Cav coming through, Thalmani Spearman going to be tanking up that front position there. Magic's going to have to think about how he's going to get through those. And I think the answer is simply just build Jutsu to annihilate the Spearmen. They've got low HP. They die quickly. Lots and lots of Tonali getting left there as Eisomarto doesn't even have any heroes in at the moment. Magic takes the fight. A little bit of micro from Magic would have gone a long way there, as he's now going to start scooting away. But militarily speaking, equal villager differential is now favoring Magic, but he's got a little bit of a mountain to climb now. We've also got Jaguar Riders in onto this side. There goes the Pillar of Tlalocan, as Magic does need to get himself out. The Axe Card and everything else. The citizens can move, or the villagers can move. He could move to the top gold mine. He's got the gold mine over on this side that he can go to as well. Pulling behind his Earth Wall for the time being is an option. Axe Cart will come through to help take this out, but I don't know if Magic's going to be able to make that work there. He's got to find a different place to attack, distract, and then get the Axe Card out to deal with this Pillar of Tlalocan. But Spearmen are going to be able to deal with it. Eagle Warrior is going to be able to deal with it. Over onto this side, one Ahuazotl is in, but Li Jing is there. Li Jing will get that stun, get that damage done as well. You do have to move this guy in a bit closer if you want to take out myth units. You can see how much damage he does once he's on the front line. But he misses a lot of shots otherwise. As the Heavy Eagle Warrior is coming onto this side, bit of good micro there from Eisomarto as he retreats to allow his Thalmani Spearman to come through. Coming in onto this side, trying to take out more villagers. As there goes the Earth Monster, and Magic should be trying to escape this. You've got to run from it. Units will all come through, but maybe Li Jing is going to have his special up at the end to allow Magic to escape. He pulls out of this side, trying to find somewhere else to go, as now that comes in, the Axe Cart can take out the Pillar of Tlalocan. Units popping back out here as Li Jing does have his special, so he can use that to retreat, but doesn't. Militarily speaking, after all is said and done, it is equal, so there's still a game here, ladies and gentlemen. Magic's got his work cut out for him. He deals with the Pillar of Tlalocan. The big advantage that Magic has is on economy. He's up nearly 30 villages. But he needs gold mines. This is the only gold he's got at the moment. He does have this one, technically, as another machine workshop to come through. He's got himself 2 ballets, which isn't really enough to spam out units. He doesn't have the food situation that he needs, but he can build farms for basically free. Just for those of you playing at home, he's got this technology here called Slash and Burn, and the farms getting built are 15 wood. So, yeah, Magic can build himself out 20 farms for basically nothing here if he wants to. But he's not doing that, which is strange, because he's spamming out Tiger Cav. Anyways, up to the top side, checking this town center, sees nothing there. Can raid this, can take out the Great Temple. Magic getting pushed off of this gold mine, though, should allow him to move over onto this position. As the Tiger Cav come through, pushing Eisomarto off this position. Main base under attack. The Axe Carts, they're slow, 2.6 speed, but they are brutally strong, brutally tanky. Once he gets in there, if Eisomarto is not paying attention, it can be very, very, very difficult to deal with this. Does Eisomarto see it? Is the big question. No reaction from the villagers. No reaction from the spearmen. The spearmen chasing off the Tiger Cav. Now he does move over. Can the villagers take out the Axe Carts fast enough? Is the question. There's only 7 of them. 8 of them. I was close, I guessed. It's not going to be enough. The Axe Cart raids are always a risk. Now we see the Birds of Doom coming through. 6 Warrior Priests queued up, but those are for the Tajipla. As the Jutsu flying in. Can he get the damage onto these guys? Yes, he can. They're starting to run. 4-speed Jutsu, not going to be quite quick enough. He doesn't need to kill off those guys, though. He needs to kill off the Warrior Priest and the Tlalmati Spearman. The Tlalmati Spearman getting erased here. As the stun comes down onto this position as well from the Li Jing. You have to imagine if you combine the Li Jing stun with the Jutsu, what an insane amount of damage that could do as the Eagle Warrior numbers are starting to dwindle. The Jutsu numbers also falling here as well, but the Warrior Priest over here, is it enough? Yes, it is. Picks off another one. Another Warrior Priest coming in as that's going to get taken down very, very quickly, but the army of Eisomarto gets absolutely obliterated. And to the top, Ohuzotl coming through, trying to cause some issues, but Li Jing is in, and that's going to be a dead Ohuzotl over there. As the ballet coming up, Eisomarto grabbed this third town center, but he's getting a ballet put up on his face there. Can Magic find his way through Eisomarto moving forward? Magay cultivation also coming through, as now we've got upgrades and all the other good stuff in from Eisomarto. You kind of forgot to get all those upgrades in. It does give him a boost of gold. As the Axe Cart gets sent away, Magic is pulled back, trying to recuperate, trying to rejig it all. Still hasn't really put his farms down. He's got a grand total of 12 farms here, which I just don't think is enough if you want to be making Tiger Cav. Armory check. Magic missing himself, bronze male. On the flip side, I wish I could tell you because I still don't know, but I think Eisomarto is at full bronze. I think he's at full bronze. The stun goes down and Magic pulls the Jutsu. I gotta be honest, the way to use the Jutsu at the moment is take the damage, but deal the damage. You're doing more damage than you're taking. But he didn't go for it. Magic for the moment. Pulling back, trying to take out those units, and he loses both of the Jutsu there. That's what I mean. Just send them. Send them in. Get the damage done. Don't need to retreat. Maybe retreat one that's getting attacked if you want, and the other one can get the damage done. Axe Cart's in. Axe Cart's the counter to Eagle Warriors, it seems. One to the top side. Tlalmati Spearmen trying to kill off villagers. They'll happily turn and get that damage done, but Eisomarto has pulled this game back yet again. Onto the top side, ballet is going up as well for Magic, as the town center here ends up falling. Axe Cart's going down. Eisomarto coming over to grab his town center. Ballets for Magic all around here as he's trying to figure this out. I don't think he's losing here. The score might say it, but he's still got a big amount of stuff he can do. The Eagle Warriors will take down. Now, the Eagle Warriors don't have ballistics or homing ballistics. So against the Eagle Warriors, you can still do the Wiggle Micro, the you used to be able to do to basically make your flying units invincible. You can still do that versus Eagle Warriors. You can't do it versus Warrior Priests. But I think here, after all is said and done, I think Eisomarto is stabilized. Magic, on the other hand, if we do a quick gold mine count, 1, gone. He's got 1 gold mine left. Eisomarto, on the other hand, he's got 2.5. He's got basically 3. Big advantage for Eisomarto. And every time Magic moves forward, he is getting slapped with those Eagle Warriors. Another big, fat blood pact onto the Atochli. And without massive amounts of heroes, you just got to ignore it. It's not an important unit. You're going to lose the town center. He's going to lose the Atochli. You just rebuild the town center. It's not a big deal. It's the cavalry charging forward. Those fire archers need to hit the Tlalmani spearmen here. But they're attacking the Kinemetsen. Town center is coming back up for Magic. Magic now does have himself 41 villagers on food. He's got the income correctly set up now. Economic check, he's got everything. Armory check. Well, that's Eisomarto. Eisomarto is missing some upgrades. Magic has everything. He's still missing his armory upgrades. He's still missing his champion upgrades for his cav. He's just about to be able to afford it, but the fact of the matter is he's about out of gold. And this is the problem. He has to start a trade route. He started a trade route. He's got 21 ox caravans. But Eisomarto has not needed to. Eisomarto is going for a Titan now. It's the ballet on the back. Falling. There goes the Titan gate. Immediately for Eisomarto. He's going to take it a whole bunch of villagers and build this one up. And Magic, can he get his own Titan out? He's got the favor for it, but he doesn't have the resources. Charging forward yet again. Now he brings in the Terracotta Riders to help himself out as those fire archers, they need to micro. They've got to hit the right units here. Zuchu is back in to try and deal with all this. Over on this side, we've got a random axolotl mutant. This is the Mythic Age myth unit for the Aztecs. Eisomarto is going to pull back. Brings in some warrior priests. Magic says, all right, I'll pull away. He's now getting himself finally champion cav. But how is he going to deal with the Titan here is the question. How is he going to deal with the Titan? Raids over onto this side, always good, but the spearmen are in position from Eisomarto. Eisomarto is playing out of his mind in this game. Great Temple coming up on this position. And in comes Magic with his Zuchu. He's sitting on the front here trying to take these units out, but he needs units to take out the Warrior Priest. Warrior Priest is so weak on the HP front. They die so quickly. But their DPS is insane. So if you ignore them, guess what? They're going to kill off your myth unit. But if you target them down, your myth unit is going to be amazing. So Warrior Priest charging forward. Juju just gets pulled all the way back. Another ballet for Magic coming in. Can Magic bring this? If Magic managed to pull this one out of his hat, I mean, he's got the superhero from China. So he's kind of semi-Greek here. He's got the Jiang Xia. He's got pioneers he can mass out. That's the Cav trying to get it onto that back line of units, doing a good job of it. Magic getting sages and everything out. He's getting prepared for the Titan. It's going to be a very, very tough hold for him, though. The problem is building pioneers is just building them into champion eagles. Is there any way that Magic can somehow stop this? 350 favor for a Blazing Prairie isn't available for him. The gold mine is going to be gone. He has to rely on trade. He has 50 mechanical ox caravans, mind you. Fantastic. But he's got no gold in the bank at the moment. Great temple up on this side as Eisomarto continues to spam those out. Eisomarto now moving over onto the right side to take the entirety of the map. And here comes the 4 jars tech, which gives him even more population. What can Magic do? Can he figure this out? Because on top of this now, Serpent Skirt comes in. This makes it even harder for the Aztec late game to fall here. We've also got another unique tech, Burnt Water. Makes the towers shoot out water. We do have this Huitzilopochtli incarnate coming through as well. You have to just target him down. Another power spike coming in as the next amount of myth unit will join in. But funnily enough, he's getting those myth units out as the heroes are in. Sages through, steals one sage, or one sits in the middle there to help him out. Zhang Xie is going to be big here, but that gets targeted down. The Titan marching across the map for Eisomarto to claim the victory here. Magic, plenty of resources in the bank. Main base is going to be his option. I'd love to see Eisomarto just walking around the walls. Wait, he doesn't kill the walls? Hello? I thought the walls would die. He just walks over them. All right, fair enough. Eisomarto going straight for the main town center here. As this army, for the moment, he's looking like Magic is winning this fight. He loses his town center. He's going to lose this town center as well. Eisomarto with plenty of resources in the bank, though. He can rebuild in a big way here. It's a fortified town center for Magic. Is going to be falling. Town center up onto the top, also going to be falling over here. Eisomarto making his way in onto this position, and Magic taps out in an epic 4-game series with Eisomarto pulling off the upset of his life here. What a series from Eisomarto. This guy comes from nowhere. He has improved over the past 2 years to being able to topple one of the greatest to have ever played this game. Of course, we're just getting started here. Magic is out for week 1, but there's 5 weeks. There are 5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be back next week. Eisomarto, he's got to be preparing now for his next round matchup. His next round matchup, whom could be either Grass and Groom or Hell's Ravage. That's on Saturday. But for now, we have a little bit of a break. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes break until our next match, which is going to be, I believe, Ulysses versus Tunison. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm going to play a couple games. I'm going to have a short break and eat something, but I'll play some games. Don't you guys go nowhere. What an insane series. Congratulations to Eisomarto. See you next week, Magic. All right. See you guys soon.